will never, ever even begin to imagine.
George Anthony taken to the hospital after talk of suicide. Tonight, he is in a doctor's care under psychological evaluation. Good evening, I'm Amy Caulfield.
I'm Cale Remaker. Just before 11 o'clock last night, George and Cindy Anthony's attorney called homicide investigator John Allen with the Orange County Sheriff's Office, saying no one had seen George for hours. Allen said he was on his way and suggested they call 911.
George Anthony has been gone since 8:30 this morning, and he has taken several bottles of medication from his house, as well as some pictures, and we're worried that he's done something himself.
Deputies jumped to it, and about 3 hours later, using GPS information from George Anthony's cell phone, Daytona Beach police tracked him down at the Hawaii Motel on South Ridgewood Avenue and eventually took him to the hospital. First on Fox, Elizabeth Alvarez live at Halifax Medical Center in Daytona Beach, where George is right now. How is he doing tonight?
Cale, we understand that George Anthony is considered to be in stable condition. He's here in a regular room at the hospital. He was brought here by Daytona Beach's own police chief after several text messages and a note was discovered that they believe that he was talking about taking his own life. Daytona Beach Police Chief Mike Chitwood was expecting the worst when he got the call that Kaylee's grandfather was missing and suicidal.
I don't think there was any doubt in my mind that he was dead, that he had killed himself.
But police did find George Anthony alive overnight. They say he had checked into a local motel Thursday evening.
He was very melancholy. It was quite obvious that he has a big burden, and it was quite obvious that he has some issues.
Cops found George Anthony by tracking his cell phone calls and text messages. Messages that detectives say were written by George Anthony. Messages that talked about committing suicide.
He said to us, look, I just needed to get away. I needed to get away to think things out. I'm fine, you can leave now.
But police were not going to leave. Inside the motel, the chief says they found empty medicine bottles and a letter he says was written by George Anthony.
From the first paragraph of the letter that I read, there's clearly an indication there that he wanted to end his life and that he wanted to be with his granddaughter. You know, there were no pills, there was no gun.
Even so, the best course of action was to have George Anthony admitted to the hospital for a mental evaluation. And you may be wondering, why Daytona Beach? Why did George Anthony come all the way to Daytona Beach? Why did he check into a motel that's considered to be in a bad part of town? Well, Chief Chitwood tells me he asked that very question to George Anthony, and that George Anthony said, because I was broke. Tonight, George Anthony will remain here at the hospital. He's going to be here for at least 72 hours under observation as required by state law. Reporting live in